I want to start off by saying thank you for the incredible performance on my last video. That makes me feel incredibly happy. But that's not what we want here. Happiness? Yeah, I gotta shoot that down real quick. I think Misery is a pretty cool and rad aesthetic, so I was thinking to myself, how do I make myself miserable? That's what I want to know. I know how to make myself miserable. Let's watch season 20 of South Park. That'll make me feel real miserable, alright. So today, we're going to be talking about season 20 of South Park, and I'm going to be telling you why I hate it oh so much. It's certainly not the only bad season of the show, but season 20 strikes a particular nerve with me, and today I just want to go episode by episode telling you guys why. Just an incredibly boring, forgettable first episode. There's a couple of hits in this episode. Like, I found the parody of sports betting in the beginning, like betting if the girls would sit out of the national anthem. I thought that was pretty funny. I thought Eric Cartman playing the role of a social justice warrior, and only a way Cartman would be a social justice warrior, to be kind of funny.
Wendy, go ahead. Be funny. Say something funny, Wendy. We can't wait.
I'm not funny.
Hey, girls are funny, Wendy, okay? Get over it. Just do women's comedy stuff, you know, talk about how fat you are and how you want to have sex with guys and then say, my vagina a lot.
I don't feel like being funny right now.
And that's just the kind of sexist bullcrap that's going to keep you in the kitchen. Sit your ass down.
But the rest of the story beats in this episode are so fucking snoozer. Oh my god. Like, there's this decent sized bit about J.J. Abrams rebooting the national anthem, and I've never felt so much nothing at a joke. I'm not cringing or anything, it's just not funny. The member berries are mildly amusing at first. They do get annoying though. I mean, obviously one of the main gripes I have with this episode and season in general is the Mr. Garrison plotline. Not to get too political here, but I'm not a Trump guy. I'm actually pretty fucking far from it. But while I agree with the sentiment of the show on Trump, I can't help but see the political commentary just sucks here. Like, it's just bad satire. For every funny moment the plotline introduces, it has like 10 that are super cringy and stupid. I'll talk about these moments case by case as they come up. Right now we're gonna talk about episode 1 because that's where we're at. In this episode, he's just kind of forgettable. I don't think there was a single moment I found funny with his character. There were a couple of moments I cringed. Like him dancing in the break room, the Cake by the Ocean. I don't exactly know why I found this moment cringe. Maybe it's the music. Maybe it's the way he moves. I don't know. Either way, I don't like it. While this episode isn't the worst one in this season, that's not really a compliment. It's just a really forgettable episode. This episode is really uncomfortable. I guess that's how I would describe it. Seeing Gerald as this gross, misogynistic hyper troll just doesn't seem in line with his character at all. Also, by the way, I'm a little clearer. My camera was out of focus that whole time. For someone who is more of a goofy, albeit flawed person, to see him transform from that to outright malicious with no story thread to lead us to that is strange, and it makes this plot seem really bizarre. It makes me feel, like I said, uncomfortable. I will say some of this uncomfort is good in this episode. Like, I sort of like the plot line of the boys figuratively murdering Cartman. Like, it's extremely dark, but I found it to be enjoyable. It made me feel bad for Cartman, and while that's certainly a feat, I can't help but feel like it's a bit undeserved. They completely overhauled Cartman's character in this season. When I feel bad for him, it doesn't even feel like I'm feeling bad for Cartman. It feels like I'm feeling bad for a completely different character. This goes back to the whole character assassination, like with Gerald, like with Cartman. It just seems like they don't really care about the established characters in this season, and they just do whatever they want. That's a big issue with this season, and there's one more key example of this character assassination that I'll get to when it comes up. There's also this plot line where Scott Malkinson threatens to leave Twitter constantly to Mr. Mackey, and I also find this one to be very uncomfortable. Maybe it's just personal experience, but it's one of those things where I find it too relatable for it to be funny to me. You'd be surprised how many people think it's okay to suicide bait / trauma dump on a 16 to 18-year-old niche internet micro celebrity. You'd be shocked how many people think that's all right. Listen, I'm fine with you guys venting to me, but oh dude, don't treat me like your full-time therapist. I'm not a professional. I don't have the credentials. Oh dude, now you made me drop him. I'm sorry. Nah, dude, I'm a weird person. Like, I really am. I'm just a really weird human being. But yeah, it's just too relatable. Also, the end with all the girls breaking up with the boys, that just feels cheap to me. Like, it feels lame. I don't like that. This episode really is one of my least favorites in the season, and that's saying something. I really don't like this one. I guess we'll start with the good here. There's one joke in this episode I find to be funny. One instance of funny political commentary here, and that is the debate.
I've got to come clean. I had no idea I would get this far, but the fact of the matter is, I should not be president. Okay? I will fuck this country up beyond repair. I am a sick, angry little man. Please, if you care at all about the future of our country, vote for her, okay? She's the one who at least has some experience. She's not as bad as you think, I promise. And unlike me, she's actually capable of running this country.
My opponent is a liar and he cannot be trusted.
No!
Oh my God, she is such a turd sandwich.
What he is saying is simply not true. Do not believe it.
I am giving you this, lady. I am giving you this. What the fuck are you doing?
While the rest of the episode's Mr. Garrison plot seems kind of forced and ham-fisted with his message, this one's funny, so there's at least that. The Eric and Heidi relationship, I am super mixed on. I can't help but think the relationship is sweet, but it's totally unearned. Cartman should not be acting that way. He should not be acting the way he is. Season 20 Cartman is not Cartman. It's a different person. I find myself liking Cartman as a human, which I shouldn't. That shouldn't be a thing. I shouldn't be liking Cartman. They did this complete 180 on him, and I can't respect it because it doesn't make any sense. They made him into this, sure, self-righteous, but overall likable person with no story threads. And that's my main problem with all these character assassinations. There's no story threads leading us to these conclusions. They act like these characters didn't have established roles beforehand. Like they just do things to these characters with no explanation. Inconsistent characters makes for bad storytelling. And when your season is just one fucking story, basically, yeah, it's gonna make for a pretty shitty season. This episode also introduces Gerald's antagonist, the Danish dude, and I'm gonna be honest, he's just kind of a boring villain. Oh yeah, and then the Memberberry plotline is in this episode, and it's just forgettable. I'm not fucking talking about the Memberberries. I'm moving on. Yay! I love character assassination. I love character assassination. This episode has Butters lead this anti-woman, genitals out movement, and it just makes me cringe so fucking hard. What leads him to do this is the fact that his girlfriend breaks up with him, but it's just lame because we've seen Butters get broken up with before in the episode Raisins, and how he reacts in that episode is completely different.
Well, my girlfriend broke up with me. Did she step on your heart with stiletto shoes? Yeah, sure does hurt.
That's cool. I guess you can join up with us if you want.
Yeah, we're gonna go to the graveyard and write poems about death and how pointless life is.
No thanks. I love life.
Huh? But you just got dumped.
Well, yeah, and I'm sad. But at the same time, I'm really happy that something can make me feel that sad. It's like, it makes me feel alive, you know? It makes me feel human. The only way I can feel this sad now is if I felt something really good before. So I have to take the bad with the good. So I guess what I'm feeling is like a beautiful sadness.
So we have this direct comparison point with how Butters used to be and how he is in this season. And it just shows how they just completely stripped away what makes Butters' character likable and enjoyable in the first place. To have so much disregard for one of your most lovable characters in your entire show, like, it's one thing to make Gerald a piece of shit because he's not utilized as much, and it's another thing to make Cartman a good guy because at least you're not tainting his character. But with fucking Butters, are you serious? That shit makes me mad. Taking a step back, the whole Wieners Out plotline in general just stinks. It's just stinky, dude. It's just a bad plotline. I don't like it. It makes me cringe. Yeah. So in Gerald's plotline, this is where he meets with the trolls and tries to stop the Danish plot from revealing their identity. This would obviously really fuck Gerald, so despite wanting to brush it off, he decides to work with them. There is one funny scene revolving this plot in this episode where he's caught trolling, so he has to come up with an explanation.
I watch porn on the internet. I'm sorry. I'll try to stop.
But I know you watch porn. You told me you watch porn, and I told you I don't care, Gerald.
Oh, yeah, but, but this is different.
Why? Because it's not normal porn?
Right.
Like something really embarrassing?
It's really embarrassing.
Tell me.
It's porn. It's, piss porn. Piss porn.
Piss porn? Like people peeing on each other?
See? It's so embarrassing. No wonder I hid it, right? I'm sorry. It's good to get it out in the open, though.
Do you want me to pee on you?
No!
You only like watching other women pee?
Oh, no, it's not like that.
Because they're pretty? You have to watch it on a video because I'm overweight and old?
No! I want you to. I just couldn't ask.
You do? Promise?
Yes?
I found that bit funny, and Gerald absolutely deserves it. The last main plot line is Eric and Heidi's, which you guys know how I feel about this one. Honestly, it's one of the few plot lines I actually like, but I just can't shake the fact that Cartman is acting so uncharacteristic. When I separate the plot line from Cartman's true character, I can enjoy it. I wish there was a bit more explanation on Cartman's change so I didn't have to do that, but there isn't, so I do, and I will. I do really like the exchange Kyle and Cartman have at Sizzlers.
Even though women have made great gains in the last century, there's still a part of men who aren't comfortable with women having power. It really just comes down to that. And then you have social media, which allows men to anonymously say horrific things like women aren't funny, even though Heidi's like the funniest person I ever met.
Psh, shut up.
No, it's true. Get over yourself.
I don't even try to be funny.
I know, you don't have to because you're awesome.
The Eric and Heidi plotline is one of the few things I like in this season, and you know, I'll let it fucking slide. I'll let it slide because I think it's cute, and it shouldn't be cute, and I shouldn't like it because it's fucking Cartman, but I'll let it slide. This is a pretty forgettable episode, but at this point, forgettable is a compliment. The three main plots in this episode are Eric and Heidi trying to bring together the boys and girls by helping to fundraise for Denmark, Mr. Garrison purposely tanking his numbers so he can lose, and Gerald and the trolls trolling Denmark to stop them from revealing all of their identities. The best of these three plots is Eric and Heidi, but they're really fucking testing me.
I don't know if you guys have heard, but right now Denmark is trying to make trolling a thing of the past. They're asking for help, and I thought, why not a school fundraiser?
Yeah, but the way you said it was actually way funnier, remember?
What? How did I say it?
Remember you were like, oh, what if we had a fundraiser in, what was it? Remember it was like...
When was this? Were we at Denny's?
Yeah, we were having that dessert thing. What was that?
Oh, and you kept spilling it. And then
yeah, remember that there was that guy that had what was the thing?
He had that weird haircut, and you kept saying that it looked like he had a dick.
Yeah. That's when you said that totally funny thing about that.
No, I can't remember what was the thing.
It totally could have been in the park. I remember. Oh, hey guys, what's up?
Like, they really shouldn't be that cute together. They shouldn't. That doesn't feel right to me, but they are, and it's pissing me off. The whole Danish for Danish plot is cute. I like it. Once again, I have to have a degree of separation here, but you know, it's one of the few things I like in this season, so just let me have it. Mr. Garrison's plot is especially weird in this episode since they set up the fact that he's gonna lose so hard and they're just completely wrong. I kind of like the plot where he tries to go back to being a teacher in this episode, but overall his plot is kind of whatever here. It's also revealed in this episode that member berries are responsible for him being voted for, and once again, the member berries are whatever. Gerald's plotline is a huge nothing burger. After watching this episode, I had to skim back because I completely forgot what he did. It's not funny, it's not notable. It just continues the trend of him being a selfish jackass. There's nothing I even want to mention here. It's just not notable at all. So this episode is once again subpar. Gerald's plotline is that he's actually trying to get rid of the trolls, but the Danish released a troll tracker a bit early due to the other main plotline in the story, Heidi finding a way to figure out who sent what with emoji analysis. Kyle threatens Cartman with the same technology since, you know, Cartman wasn't a great fellow before, and this gets Cartman a little worried. There's a whole plotline that follows the member berries, and you know, that's always great. Once again, Cartman and Heidi's plot carries the episode on their back. I thought the realization when Cartman finds out Heidi can figure out what he said due to, you know, troll tracker to be pretty funny.
I would imagine there are some things you've done or said on the internet you wouldn't want Heidi to know about.
Uh-oh.
Did you like the movie, hon?
No, it sucked. I'm gonna send Butters an email right now. Dude, don't bother with new Ghostbusters. Totally not funny. Chicks ruined it.
Like, is that the worst thing you've said, Cartman? Really, is that the worst thing you've said? This is where we start to see Cartman return to form as he lies and tries to make excuses to Heidi to cover up. I have little to say about the Gerald plotline, just that this is where we start to see it kick into gear, which I guess that's a little exciting. Not really, because I'm not really invested in it, but I guess. The Memberberry plotline is exactly what you would expect. Boring, 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 boring. This is where they truly start to become annoying instead of amusing, and where they overstay their welcome. There's only so many times you can say the same joke over and over again and it still be funny. You know, there's only so many times, you know, at a certain point, it becomes not funny. This episode is just whatever. Just kind of sucks. This is the episode right after Trump won, and you can tell that this really fucked up the storytelling of the season. Mr. Garrison's plotline takes a whole 180, and now he wants to be president because the Memberberries fucked up his brain. Cartman's plot revolves around him trying really hard to prevent Heidi from seeing his past posts. Gerald's plotline makes the biggest strides in this episode, where Gerald is sent to Denmark with the false mission of blowing up the servers, only for him to realize that he's being double-crossed all along with all the other trolls. Butters also has a bit of a plotline where he talks to Bill Clinton about being a gentleman. Bill Clinton tells Butters that women are going to start milking men for their semen and just putting them underground. So, you already know how I feel about the treatment of Butters' character. I will say there is a scene with Cartman and Butters that's pretty interesting.
Hey, Butters, can I talk to you?
What do you want? If anyone should be pissed at chicks, it's you! But no, you've got your bitchy little girlfriend pulling your strings now!
Please do not call her that, Butters. I really like her.
Oh, God, listen to you. Hey, don't call her that name. You've changed, Eric. You've really changed. Now get the fuck out of my house.
I say interesting because I don't really like it, but the role reversal's kind of cool. So I will say that Bill Clinton talking to Butters does get him to change a little bit. So I guess that's a plus. Heidi and Cartman's plotline about getting to Mars so they don't have internet is kind of all right. I mean, this plot is kind of mediocre. The whole Gerald plotline with him going to Denmark makes me fucking snooze. Super fucking boring. Oh, my body, my baby. Oh. Mr. Garrison's plotline with the Memberberries controlling his brain is a bit intriguing, and figuring out about the Memberberries does give me a tad of excitement. This episode is once again forgettable, not notable, kind of like this whole season. Cartman and Heidi wait at SpaceX to go to Mars. Butters joins them. Mr. Garrison takes a victory lap to South Park. Gerald sets up his son Ike to make him look like the troll so he isn't culpable. And also the Memberberries. Yeah, they're here. I really loved watching all of these episodes, if you couldn't tell from my stellar synopsis of that plot right there. This episode is actually better than most of them. Like, the ending where Kyle comes to the realization that Gerald is behind the trolling and not Ike is pretty damn cool. I'll give credit where it's due.
You made people quit Twitter? You started a war between boys and girls? You...
I call it emoji analysis. It isn't a student, it's an adult.
This ugliness came from our family.
I think it's one of the parents.
You're supposed to just laugh and make fun of shit.
Daddy called you a pussy.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Come on.
Butters is also kind of back to himself in this episode, so there's that. I do like how Butters ends up taking the feminist role away from Eric in this scene.
Well, I don't think there was ever any question women are funny. Remember that movie 9 to 5 with Lily Tomlin and Dolly Parton?
Oh yeah, that movie was funny.
Well, I laughed my butt off and it never even occurred to me that they were women. I don't know why things changed. I don't know why people make such a big deal about women in comedy now. I mean, what about Carol Burnett? She was great.
Wow, I guess you're right.
Yeah, and I mean, when women make vagina jokes, I think it's the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, well, I swear I don't care how many times Amy Schumer talks about her vagina. I laugh every time.
Oh, I see what you're doing.
What, babe?
Oh, nothing, babe.
The Mr. Garrison plotline with him going back to South Park is whatever. The Memberberries, Do I really have to talk about the member berries? Do any of you guys care? I'm not fucking talking about the member berries. I'm not doing it. Next episode. This is definitely the best episode in the season, by far. Everyone being so worried about Troll Tracer, the president being manipulated to drop a bomb on Denmark, Cartman being convinced by Butters that women aren't smart and funny, to even Gerald's plotline and the confrontation with Kyle. This episode's actually good, in my opinion. And God knows I need that. After watching 3 hours of fucking dog shit, I need that. I really loved Kyle and Ike's interaction with their parents in this episode. I think that it's really satisfying and nice to watch.
You know how bad your mom is. She completely overreacts to everything. That's where your brother gets it from. You don't want to be like Kyle, do you?
Hi, Dad.
Hey, buddy, everything good there?
It was you, this whole time. You're the troll who caused all this trouble.
No, it was your brother. I don't know what's wrong with him, Kyle. He needs counseling.
Heidi Turner did emoji analysis. It was an adult. It was you.
Okay, keep your voice down.
Why, Dad? Why did you do this?
Because it's fucking funny, Kyle. It's called having a sense of humor and laughing. You should fucking try it once in a while.
I also liked how Heidi literally solved a massive rocket scientist problem, and Cartman is worried about what Butters was saying, and he's more hung up on the fact that she isn't being funny.
Excuse me, is it possible that the 7th line from the right and the 3rd one up from the bottom left are out of sequence?
I'm sorry?
That stuff there, it's in the wrong place. It needs to come before that.
Wait a minute. She might be onto something here.
Okay, now could you just do the my vagina thing for them? Could you just say my vagina?
They're out of sequence, I'll show you.
What the fuck is happening?
Also, President Garrison being manipulated on the phone by both Kyle and Mr. Slave is pretty hilarious as well.
Well, maybe I won't bomb Denmark. What do you think about that?
Yeah, you will, because you're a little retarded shit bitch.
God fucking damn it!
I do think the fucking Disney-esque twist villain of the Danish dude being a troll was kind of whatever, but the rest of the episode really hits, so I'll give it a pass. Good episode. Like, genuinely, a good episode. Not just in the context of this season, in the broader context of the show. I think this episode is pretty damn good. You know, it's satisfying. It's the first and only time I've felt satisfied watching one of these episodes. So, you know, that's pretty nice. That's good. Confusion, the episode. That's how I would describe this episode. This episode tries desperately to tie all those loose story threads from the season together, and it just doesn't do a good job at that. So you have Kyle trolling the Dutch, but he doesn't have enough energy, so he calls Mr. Garrison to get some more from SpaceX to blow up the servers. I don't know, man. It feels like they packed as much as they could into this final episode, as much as they could fit, and came up with some bullshit, basically. This whole season fucking sucks, and I guess the best part of this final episode is that it's over. There's not a single problem I have with the season. It's more a collection of issues. Many of the storylines are incredibly weak. It's not very funny. It assassinates characters in a terrible way. I guess my main gripe is that the season is boring, to be honest. I guess that's my main issue. Like, if it assassinated the characters, sure, that would suck. But if it was at least funny or entertaining, I could give it a pass. But it's not. It just isn't. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked this video. It took all of my fucking willpower to research this video. I fucking hated watching that season, but I'm glad I'm done with it. I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I made this video. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope I see you guys later. Peace out. Bye-bye. Give them a nice little army salute. Do 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 do.